Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. I wanted to pop on today just to share my Saturday sketch with you. I normally just go ahead and post a picture of them, but I kind of wanted to just stop for a moment and talk about what I call Saturday sketch. So, before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Rita. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I I love to create card designs, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects. And I love to share them with you in hopes that it will inspire you to create and then to share with those in your life that matter. So, I have been a demonstrator for a long time. And I've been paper crafting for over 30 years. And I wasn't always a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but when I first started paper crafting, I got all excited and, I started out on the kitchen table, so I didn't have a lot of room, but I got all those paper pads and different products so that I could start creating my wonderful cards. Well, so space was an issue at that time, so I had to be kind of careful. But also what I found was that when I would purchase all this beautiful paper and all the embellishments to go with it, sometimes I would have a hard time coordinating colors together, maybe because they didn't come as a unit, and maybe my inks didn't, because they weren't like from the same color lot dye or however, they didn't always like go together, and it wasn't like it was a little bit of a large effort, I guess I should say, not a struggle, but kind of, to just get everything to coordinate. And so it was when I started using Stampin' Up! Products and that I discovered the beauty of Stampin' Up!, one of the beauties of Stampin' Up!, and that is, whether it's designer series paper, cardstock, ink, markers, whatever color is designated to that color, well, whether it's garden green or daffodil delight or real red, everything is going to coordinate. So you can take out that mystery of trying to match colors and or like to match the DSP with the cardstock or whatever that matching thing is that you want to do. So I was super excited. But as I've been a demonstrator and a designer for a while, here's what I find, and that is that sometimes there's small pieces, like I'm going to show you. This was the designer series paper called To Market. You can see that I used it. It was this designer series paper came in 12 by 12 sheets, and I did take this particular sheet and I cut out all the bouquets and stuff. But I have this kind of left over, and well, I feel that I definitely got my money's worth. It's like a thing. I just want to use possibly as much as I can, and very little of it do I want to go into the trash can or to the recycle bin. And so I discovered a great way to do that is to find card sketches. And so you can go online and you can just Google card sketches and you get all kinds of choices. It's just, there are many out there. And a lot of times even like Pinterest will pop up some card sketches that people have done, and they show the color rather than just black and white kind of thing. And so it can really inspire you, and it is a great way to even use pattern paper with pattern paper and also to use up those small pieces. So I try to do every Saturday a card sketch just to give you an idea of some things that you can do, first of all, with those small pieces that you have left over, and maybe you have old stamps. Like I like to save my paper pumpkin and kit stamps in this empty CD case, and then I like to refer to them. I usually will reach for them when I'm doing a card sketch, or I will reach for my favorite stamp set that I'm currently using. Now, because I am a demonstrator, when I'm doing a card design, I really do kind of like to use current things, because if you're interested in and you're inspired by that card, then I want you to be able to get your hands on the product. But with the card sketches, I will use a variety of things. It might be things I've had in my stash. It just might be things that are left over. It might be things that I used before and then have for me to use again. So that's why I wanted to do this video, is just to kind of explain what I'm doing. So not everything I use is maybe it's retired designer series paper. This is retired, but I love it. I still really love it. This particular sheet I had a hard time using, but the point I'm trying to make is I really don't want to just toss it away. So using the card designs is helpful for me. So this week, getting on with that, this week I chose a card sketch by OWH, which is Operation Right Home. And this is kind of a small diagram, but it does come with the measurements. Now, not all of your card sketches will come with the measurements, because there are different sizes of cards, and so you can always, though, edit the sizes. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't have that regular A2 size or whatever. You can always edit it. And that is why last month we talked about card size and layers, so that once those are in your memory, it's not difficult to edit measurements to get a card that you want. So this is the card sketch that I used today. We're going to make a card, but before we make a card, I want to show you, let's make the card first. Okay, so here is the card sketch. I'll put it over here, and I am using a top folding portrait basic white card base, and I am going to go ahead and burnish that fold line there. And then I took a piece of that To Market Designer Series paper, so it's double-sided, and so I know that this green is going to match with any other print that I pull out of that Designer Series paper. But I wanted to use that as a base layer. So this part here is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this I made just slightly smaller because I did want a little bit of the white showing, but I didn't want the normal 1/8 of an inch that I usually like to have. So let's go ahead and lay this down. Well, let's make this card together. So I am using the green, I call it green glue. It's liquid glue, multi-purpose liquid glue. You can find it in my online store. And also I want to tell you that when we're through here, I will put the supplies that I've used. I'll put them in my blog when I blog about this card. And then you can just copy those measurements. So you really could use any Designer Series paper you want, and I'm going to show you some other cards I made using different Designer Series paper. All right, so I have my first layer, which is what is intended with this gray part here. And so then I'm going to be working on this strip here. Now you'll see in the card sketch that it says 1.25 by let's see, I need to bring it closer. Oh my gosh, 5.5. So that's 1 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, I don't believe, Mine is not quite 5.5 because you'll see that this strip that they use goes all the way to the end of the card. I only want mine to go to the end of that designer series paper. So this is a strip I actually had in my kind of leftover stuff, and I'll show you when I get kits or paper pumpkins, I just go ahead and take everything, you know, that is perforated. I go ahead and punch it out and I put it in a container like this. So then I'll have that. When I use the ingredients to make alternatives, I'll just pull from this little container. And that's what I did with this was in there. So this is Daffodil Delight. I am going to go ahead and glue it right here just like it shows on the card sketch. And sometimes you'll see these little if your blade needs to be replaced, sometimes it'll leave these little fuzzy things. If there was something, maybe it was embossed or something and it had an edge, it might leave that. So if you just take your thumb and thumbnail, you can just get those off. So let's go ahead and put this on here. And I'll tell you what, just when I get a little closer to being finished, I'll tell you what, where I got some of this. Well, I'll tell you as I go where I get some of these supplies. All right, so this is basic cardstock. And then we see that we have a piece here that is black in this sketch. And so oh, wait, I am going to add another layer because I need to take this off. It's okay. Don't panic. It happens. We'll fix it. I meant to put this other layer on here, and this is one thing about our adhesive. It's very, it adheres very well. So I know you won't see that when we get finished. Okay, I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to put it right on here. Now this is 4 by 5.25, and this was a piece or half of a card base that came from the anniversary edition of the Paper Pumpkin. It was a Daisy Daydream, and so you can kind of see the speckle, the little yellow like shadows in it. So that's how the card base came. But I wanted it to have some texture, so I ran it through my So Swirly, or I put it in my So Swirly embossing folder and ran it through my embossing machine. And that gives it texture. And we're going to adhere this to that green base. And that's why, one of the other reasons that I made that green base a little bigger than normal. And so I'm going to fit this in. Let's see here. I want an equal margin. So I think that's, whoa, moved it too much, sorry. So, okay, so there's that. Now we're going to put this Daffodil Delight right back on here, and it'll be okay. I know you're all probably going, whoa, lady, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and put this back on. Just like that. And I might have to cut some off right up here. I will. So we'll just take our scissors. I'm using long blade scissors for this because I'll rest my long blade scissors on that layer right there, and it'll help me to cut this this Daffodil Delight strip where I want it. Okay. All right, so you can see that's done. It's Okay, I don't want to smush that part that I've embossed, so that will be fine. All right, and then I took a piece of, it's actually part of this to market paper, so let's see if we can find it. So it's the one that had these flowers. The back part is this, and I'm going to put that right here like that. And so let's go ahead and do that. And you can see in this sketch that it's slanted. So we're going to go ahead and slant it. And I'm think I'm getting low on glue here, so it's not cooperating so well. Okay, so we're going to slant it, and we're going to slant it with this corner out this way, but we definitely want it to fit on the card. So because I've edited some of the layers, then we're going to be careful how we tilt it. And also I wanted to tell you that this is a 3x4 piece of that designer series paper, and it's just going to go right on there. And then you see that it has a white piece that is also 3x4. That is just goes straight here. But I decided I'm not going to use a square. I'm going to use a white circle. Now this white circle is one of the pieces that came out of the card bases with that Daisy Daydream. So it had like some honeycomb on it, and so that on one side you'll see the honeycomb. So I thought that's okay, I'm just going to turn it over, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So you really can't see the honeycomb, right? You can't see it now when I turn it over. So let's go ahead and get some glue on here. And I'm feeling good because I'm using up my scraps, and I'll have a different kind of card. So this actually would qualify for a Saturday sketch, and also an alternative to that Daisy Daydream. So this is kind of catty corner, but I'm going to just kind of tell you right now what I want to use are these daisies. So I'm going to, kind of think about where I want to place things. So I'm just going to place this circle right here, and then I'm going to by kind of, I mean I'm going to arrange these daisies so that they somewhat go around that circle. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the daisies. And again, I'm going to show you some examples so you really can edit this. You don't have to do it the same way I am, for sure. Okay, and then when we put that on there, we now have some very pretty decorations, right? And then I have this piece that already had I don't know what I was going to do with it before, but it already had a dimensional on it, so we can either put it on one of these flowers, or we could put it right there, which I think would look pretty, or you could put it right up here. Now on the sketch, you'll see that it has a circle here. You don't have to put that. That's just like, if you wanted to put your gems or whatever, you could. And it has the sentiment strip right down here. So I'm not going to put this on right now, but I am going to use this sentiment strip right here. And I'm just going to, excuse me, I'm going to put it underneath these daisies, and I want it right there. So when I do that, I'm thinking that I'm going to put that flower right there. Let's go ahead and put this. This is Celebrate, and this came from the Mix and Match birthday combo ephemera mix. And so as you're seeing, as I'm telling you all of this, you're seeing or you're hearing that I'm using up some of those leftover items that I had, and so they're not going to waste. And let's be honest, You know, things are kind of expensive these days, so anytime that we can make full use of the things we have, then it's much better, right? And so I can see that this kind of sticks out from my card, so I'm just going to open the card and I'm going to just cut it off. Just like that. Now it doesn't stick out. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this right here somewhere. I want it to kind of pull that whole circle together. So there we go. Now we can definitely pull out some bling, and let's see which one I might want to use. I'm sorry for the reach. You know, I have all kinds here, but let's see. I think I have a lot going on there, and if I had some bright yellow, that's probably what I'd want to use. I have some yellow, but it's not really the same. Let's see here. I'll keep looking because, yeah, that's the same as that. And these are old gems that I've had too, so it's kind of like I'm feeling good because I'm using up some of this stuff and it won't be going to waste. And you know that I'm using leftovers, so the idea is you can, oh, here's some pretty ones. Let's use these. So you can do kind of the same thing. You can look in your stash and see what you have and, you know, use it, because my guess is that you invested money in it, and so you're going to want to use it. So here are some gems. These are the tinsel gems, and I'm going to use these. I should use my other take a pic tool. Sometimes I forget I have that, but that one is a good one. So let's see, I'm just going to put, whoa, that's not where I wanted it to go. Let's see. I'm just going to put that, actually I just want it right there. And I'm going to put another one. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier just to do it with your finger. I'm going to put another one right here. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what I have on my finger or why it's sticking. Let's see. Huh. Okay. There we go. One more. I'm just going to put it down here. All right. So now we have just created a card, and that's using some of the leftovers, leftover product from the March's paper pumpkin called Daisy Daydream. I'll get it out just a minute. And we did use that card sketch by Operation Right Home. And the number of that card sketch, it is so small, let me tell you, it's 236. So there it is. Now I want to show you some other cards I made using this card sketch as an inspiration. I took that same To Market Designer Series paper, and this is again a portrait. Started out as 4 1/4 by 11, and then I just scored it in half at 5 1/2, and here it is. So all of this paper is from the Paper Market, and let's see, I'll show you. So I did use this green as a layer, right? I cut out these flowers to use as a bouquet, and then let's see here. This Designer Series paper is what I used right here for that. And then there's one other, and let's see here. I'm digging for it so I can show you. So there is this, it looks like this on one side, and then on this side it looks like wood, kind of wood grain. And so those are the pieces that I used for that card. And then I did use the basic white. I also used this stamp set. This is from a kit. And so I used To a Wonderful Friend, and that's garden green ink. And then I just used some leftover gemstones because I have a lot of them. And then this ribbon. So when I was finished, I was looking at it and I was like, there are a lot of layers, and this has popped up, but I just need something else. I need to touch something. I need some fabric or something. And so I looked in all my ribbons, and then I found this ribbon. I do believe that this ribbon is retired. Yes, it is. It's called the Window Pane. And so we just brought out the green. I love how this ribbon, how you can tie it in a bow. There's something about the ribbon that just really cooperates when you're tying a bow. And they just lay nicely. All right, so there's a second card that I made using this card sketch, and then this is the third. Now I used that same stamp set, and this stamp set came in the kit came, this was like a punch out, and then there was some ephemera. And if I remember correctly, in the card kit they had the crumb cake card. Oh no, it wasn't. It was beige. But I used crumb cake for this, and then I used some of that green again from the To the Market again. So this is that green, and I used that as a strip. And then this is some of that shaded, or part of that card base that was from the Daisy Daydream. And so I just had a little piece, and actually it had been, sadly enough, I had to cut it off because it wasn't on all four sides. But on one of the sides it had where it had been die cut with the textured note dies. And so if I would have tried to run it through again with the die, it would have been too small. So I just cut off that part of I know it seems like a sin, doesn't it? I just cut it off so that they would be the same on all four sides. And then that went on some early espresso. And then this was some ephemera that was in the kit. And you notice on the card sketch, it has a little circle here. So you notice in the stamp set, it has a little circle too that says For You. And so I just used the early espresso ink and stamped For You, and then just cut around it. And then I felt the same thing as I felt on this card. I just wanted something I could touch and would feel like fabric. So I just tied some twine. Now this twine, this is old twine, and I don't even know, it's kind of variegated, and I wanted to show it to you. This is all I have, and it is Stampin' Up, but I don't even remember the color. So it has some green in it, but it's retired. But you know what? Here's the beauty of the card sketches, and that is this card sketch doesn't tell you what colors to use. It doesn't tell you. It just gives you measurements, and then you can take it from there and create your own. And so I just felt this week I wanted to use up some leftover stuff that I had, and I wanted to just create with it. And here's what I did. So what I'm hoping out of all of this is that you will be encouraged to use up some of your scraps. And if you like to keep current and you have a few pieces that maybe have retired and you can't get again, go ahead and use them up. Because even this piece I don't feel is worthy of being tossed in the recycle bin. And if you're interested in how I store my designer series paper, I've got a video on that. So just look in my YouTube on my playlist and you'll find it. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. So I really do hope this has been helpful to you or encouraging to you in some way. And I know we've kind of rambled, but it was kind of an impromptu thing that I did today. But you know, if you like this content, if it's been any help to you, then please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and then hit that notification icon so that you'll be notified when I upload new content. And then if you're watching here on Facebook, this video Facebook is now only keeping videos for about 30 days. So after 30 days, they'll be non-existent. So, you know, if you want, go ahead and take advantage of this video, and then also I'd be very happy if you'd follow me. So thank you so very much for your time, and you have a great weekend. Bye now.